Hello there, my name is Hristislav Kuchevsky. Welcome to the principle number 3. And it's really nice that you are here again. And I believe that this time is going to be very useful for you. Please, try to use the principle number 2 right now, listening to the principle number 3. Try to focus on the meaning of what I'm going to tell you, but not on the individual words, some of which you probably don't know. Okay? Then let's start. And the third principle sounds like our Russian saying goes. Repetition is the mother of skills. I'm not sure about the origin of this saying. I heard it is of Latin, but I don't know exactly. Whatever. It is very well known to every one of us from our childhood. But quite often we just ignore it. Well, what does make a person fluent speaker? It is the ability to speak easily, without trying hard to find the right words. Because those words are used on a daily basis. And they are heard and spoken tens, hundreds, and maybe even 1,000 times a day. And this bag of words that you normally use in your everyday talk has been set so deeply into your brain and in your speaking apparatus, which is your mouth and your tongue, that you just cannot forget it, even if you'd want it. And you use it over and over again, making it deeper and deeper. To be fluent in English, you have to master those phrases and expressions, rather than just to know their meaning. It's not enough. They must become part of you. And it means that you have to hear them tens and hundreds times, that you could know how they sound when other people speak, and then use them in your own talk. In our traditional schools, most often you have to learn some material for a certain period of time. But normally for that period, the maximum you can really get is just a mental understanding of grammar rules and some vocabulary. At most, students get the knowledge, but they almost never get skills. And usually, after a short period of time, students just forget almost everything they learn. Anyway, they cannot use their knowledge in practice, because it has not become the skill. And it's very painful to see that this knowledge doesn't help them to communicate normally with English-speaking people. There is this statistic which says that from all the people who study English in our traditional system, only 5% become more or less fluent speakers. And these are people with great personal motivation. But others fail. And I'm not going to criticize this system, but for me, it's just the fact. It sounds sad, but it's true. I spent 12 years studying English following this traditional method. And in my opinion, it was basically just a waste of time and money. And even worse, later I had to correct many things which were the result of such learning. It sounds crazy, but it's true. Unlike language learning, the acquisition of language gives you skills and knowledge from constant practice. Actually, the language acquisition is more like sport or music. You'll never become a good athlete sitting home on the couch and watching sport channels on TV. If you love soccer, for example, and want to be a good soccer player, then watching football matches on TV is not enough. And even cheering for your favorite team in a stadium doesn't help in this case. You have to play football every single day. Or if you want to be a guitar player, then listening to the music in your MP3 is not enough. It will never make you a guitarist, right? I'm sure you see my point. Well, To be a good English speaker, you should train your listening skills first, and then spoken skills. Only regular practice of these two basic skills will make you a good English speaker. Period. Well, what I recommend? I recommend you to get some simple materials interesting to you, podcasts or videos, and work with it 2-3 weeks at the beginning stage. For example, you get some audio materials with text files for help and listen to that many times. Maybe 10, 20, 30, even up to 50 times. Or even more if necessary. Until you understand it completely. Please take your time. It must go deeply into your brain. It must be recorded into your brain. In fact, that's what really happens when you listen to that many times. And after multiple listening, you'll be able to play it back. Sometimes even without thinking, mechanically, so to say. Imagine MP3 player. Do you remember those players with a control panel there with those push buttons like play button, stop button, pause button, etc. When you push the play button, it starts playing. And now you can hear some music, podcasts, and so on. But why does it happen? It happens because this information had been uploaded there by someone. And that's what happens with our brain to some extent. By repetition, we just record this information into our players. And it is very effective for the language acquisition. Later, the period of time for listening to the audios is going to be shorter. For example, now reading some book, I usually read it one time and listen to the same audiobook 3 times. I feel it's enough for me to understand it quite deeply. And sometimes if the book is very interesting and useful, I can listen to that even more times. And this approach allows to understand the meaning of a book not at the surface level, but much deeper. And what is more important in our case, it allows to acquire the language itself due to repetition. And that is very powerful technique. You acquire the language having fun. But first, you should prepare foundation using simple English materials. The more you listen, every next time, it becomes easier for you to understand English. And you will already have patterns of how it is spoken by native English speakers, to be able to use the same patterns in your own talk. And you use natural expressions, and you don't have doubts anymore of how to say this or that, because you have heard the way of how it is spoken many times. And now when you speak, nothing stops you. That's what makes your talk fluent indeed. My course of spoken English designed such way that a lot of words, phrases and simple patterns are repeated many times in different tenses and situations. Basically in simple tenses. Past, present, future. Because they must be worked out first. And this simple spoken grammar must go deeply into your subconscious mind. Little by little, you have more and more phrases and language constructions, and your speaking becomes easier, more fluent and confident. You become fully valid English speaker, not student anymore. The earlier you realize yourself as an English speaker, the easier daily English practice is going to be for you. It will become not the language you learn, but the language you speak. And it means no struggle any longer. Just new life with a new language. That's it for today's video. And I realized that this simple information is not something brand new for you. But that's what we often just forget about. Repetition develops and improves all the aspects of the language you acquire. And it is extremely important and powerful tool for language mastery. Well, hope you've got it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.